Sometimes I wish we could go back to a time when things weren't so complicated.
Welcome to the complexity of toilet paper, the podcast that dives into the everyday moments where we overthink, hesitate, or just get stuck.
I'm overthinking. I'm overthinking.
Let's hear it for the toilet paper!
Through honest conversations, unexpected insights, and a whole lot of humor, your hosts Phyllis Martin, Mark Pollock, and Al Emmerich are here to help you roll with it and make your life a little less complicated. One conversation at a time.
That's right, dude. The beauty of this is its simplicity.
Speaking of which, it's time to enter the stall. Put the lid down, or not, depending. Get comfortable, and roll with it.
Oh, worry not, dear friend. It's really quite simple.
This is the complexity of toilet paper. Once upon a time in a land far, far away, high above the treetops, through the sky, and into the Arctic Circle, out through the desert, through Sherwood Forest, and many of the enchanted lands, there was a place where Santa and the elves all sat around and took turns going potty. That's right. The complexity of toilet paper has arrived at the North Pole just in time for the holidays. Welcome to the holiday version of the complexity of toilet paper.
I am left speechless.
And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you feeling a little pooped out at the holidays? Do you give a shit about the holidays? Are you wiped out after the holidays? Would you just like to flush the holidays away? Or do you wish that it was just this eternal bowl that swirled around and always remained present in your life? See?
That's so punny.
It was so punny.
So punny.
Hi, and welcome to the complexity of toilet paper, the holiday, New Year, seasonal, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah, anything in between version. My name is Al Emmerich.
I'm Mark Pollock.
And I am Phyllis Martin.
And I'm just going to be very direct, folks. We have a major dilemma that arrived in our central nervous system of this show. And as a listener, as a fan, as a first time, last time, forever time participant in the complexity of toilet paper, you need to realize that our mission is to unpack the complexity in life so that we can just have a better life, a simpler life, one conversation at a time. And never in the history of mankind has there been more overthinking amid wars, pestilence, than the holidays. It's true. I mean, we've studied it. We put a lot of research into it. I mean, and so we got to thinking, and then Phyllis got to stinking, and she was like, "We should do a show on this." And
is that how I sound?
No, not at all.
If you were in The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, maybe.
Oh.
Either way, we have decided to unpack something that is really important. And we're joking about it, but it's true. Stress follows the holidays, and we just don't know why the hell why. So, Phyllis, walk us through your incredible thoughts about this show and the holidays.
So, when we were thinking about this show, we were thinking about like the conventional, what tips can we offer and what kind of a show can we do to make the holidays less complex? And I about had a nervous breakdown because I thought, do we really, how many more shows do we need to talk about over anything having to do with the holidays? Like, seriously, how many more tips do we need about relaxing and don't overspend and don't overeat, or maybe overeat because you can lose it after the first of the year, and remember to drink water and take your naps and remember this, that, and the other. It has been so done. And I am saying it much more calmly than I said it to my co-hosts here on the show when we first started talking about it. And then
Folks,
Al, you
she
jumped
lost
in.
her shit. She lost her shit, folks. She genuinely lost her shit.
I did. I was beside myself over the thought of having to do a show like that. And then Al was like, right, that's what I'm saying. Like, we should say that and then do the show about that, about the farce that is the holidays. And Al kept using the word farce.
I used farce. I want to let you know that in a testament to decorum, verbally and emotionally and grade level wise, I said decorum. I said farce. Okay, now go.
You said farce, and Mark and I were like, farce? What if we did the farts of the holidays? What if we talked about the farts of the holidays? And Al was like, no, the farce of the holidays. We're like, no, the farts of the holidays, because it's really true. It's really, really true. Plus, let's just start with farts are funny. Like, you can't say, I can't say fart. I can't even have this show without like falling down 1,000 times. But we were thinking like we could talk about this in like so many ways, about things like, you know, the stench of the holidays, or the stink of having to get together with your families, or the silent but deadly, all of the things in some ways that holidays represent. And now we are proud to share with you. You can say farts if you want to. You can say farce if you want to. But I think it's the farts of the holiday season.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give this disclaimer that we are three grown-ass adults recording this in all sincerity and seriousness. This is for your listening pleasure. And I hope at this point we haven't lost all of our downloads, all of our listeners.
Can you know, I do have to just pause this for a second and say, I realize that this is an audio podcast.
Yeah.
But could we just pay a little respect to my outfit today? You know, I came to this holiday farting conversation in an absolutely hideous sweater that looks like a Christmas tree with a tie on it.
Okay, so stand up partially. I'll screenshot this puppy right now. Okay, this is yeah. No, you're good. No, arch up a little higher.
I mean, it looks like it itches.
There you go. All right. Oh God,
It's
you know what it
terrible.
looks like? It looks like it's a painted on tattoo to your body.
It looks like it's wrapping paper.
Maybe that's how committed I am to this, right? So if we're going to talk about the farts of the holidays, it also has to do with someone wearing ugly sweater. If there's one more ugly sweater contest at a work.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. We all know I'm not doing that.
Now let's be joking aside, which is going to be impossible. But no, we want to be serious. Not the three of us are not bah humbuggers. Okay, we are not like poo poo the holidays. Pardon the pun. But seriously, you know as well as I do, dear friend of the stall with us, that there is far too much overthinking. There's far too much stress. Too many people arrive at the end of the holiday going, I need a holiday from the holiday. And we were like, well, let's just bring the truth to the holidays. And that is that it does kind of stink. And what actually stinks? Okay, first of all, Phil, this idea of, you talked about it, the perfect holiday, right?
Yes, because we right. So there's every home and garden TV show. There's every perfect pie and cookie, perfect pie crust rolled out, perfectly decorated tree, fire in the all of these expectations, the perfect latke, the perfect dreidel roll, if you're in my family, the perfect 8 presents, lighting the menorah on time, the whole thing. And I actually have come to find, and I hope we're going to talk about this, that, I was going to make a pun, but I'm not. But that is just... no,
Don't
it
tease,
really wasn't
don't
a pun.
tease us.
I was going to say it's just a wad of shit. It just doesn't exist, because I think what actually makes the holidays are the ridiculous things that happen when families come together and expect, what is that show? The Andy Griffith Show. And you get something completely different. Like, I know in my own family, we spend more time laughing about even like the fights that have happened or somebody getting their feelings hurt. On the backside, I mean, sometimes it's just funny. But in the moment, it feels like, no, if it's not this perfect every little thing, then we have failed as human beings. And the expectations going in are just so unrealistic.
I have to admit, though, I knew at a relatively young age that holidays weren't going to be perfect when my grandmother punched my cousin on Christmas.
Oh, there's that.
Knocked him out.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, or like as in like
this is like no hyperbole. I'm not kidding. I'm standing next to my brother Steve. My grandmother comes out of the kitchen. I don't know. Are we ready for this story?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I think it's too late to stop. Let's go.
I've already opened the bag here. So unrolled the paper. So in my family, you can have, like, if you want something, you ask for it, and then you're likely to get it, right? So at my grandmother's house, and she used to get Italian cookies sent to her from New York. Some family members from New York used to send her. Yeah, it was great. And being an Italian family, that was really important, the cookies and the things like that she didn't want to necessarily make anymore. Anyway, my cousin decides to go into the kitchen and not ask for permission. Now, he's a grown-ass man, right?
Oh, I know.
He's a grown-ass man. He's like almost 30 at this point. And he comes out of the kitchen, and my grandmother looks at him and goes, "What are you eating?" And he's like, "Well, I got a cookie." She's like, "That's for later." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She said, "Well, you didn't ask." And they went back and forth and back and forth. And finally, my grandmother, who was like 4'10", reared back and punched him in the face, and he fell to the ground. And I remember looking at my brother Steve, and Steve looking at me and going, "Well, that's a Merry freaking Christmas."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's no Hallmark. That's not any Hallmark movie I've been forced to watch.
That adds a new meaning to the punch bowl.
It does. Okay, so the story that comes to mind for me is I have two stories, but I'll stay with one because I'm sure there'll be time in like another section for me to tell my second story.
Of course.
So
it's your show, Phyllis. It's always your show.
We're just living in it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's your show.
It's your idea, your show, your shit show. The whole 9 yards.
I'm glad we've come to. I'm glad we're all in agreement.
Well, welcome to the Phyllis Show.
We wanted to talk about world peace and hunger over the holidays, but no,
I want to talk about farting.
Yeah, there we go.
Farts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
everybody thinks.
Who knew
farting
such a
is
classy
funny.
woman would would.
Can I tell the story now, please? Okay.
Yes, please.
So everybody knows that I'm Jewish and my husband is not.
What?
What? What?
I had no idea.
Okay, so Tim is not Jewish, therefore his family is not Jewish. And so we were at Christmas dinner at my in-laws' house one year, and my brother-in-law and sister-in-law were there, and Tim's grandmother, fondly known as Grandmono, was there. And my in-laws, set a very formal Christmas dinner table. It's not funny. A very formal Christmas dinner table. And my brother-in-law is a little bit of a prankster, and we all know how easily I am open to that. So on the plate, everybody had this acorn squash that was cut in half and stuffed with stuff. And when Rob finished eating his, he held it up to his face like he had a wart or an overly sized mole. Well, Grandmono had something done to her face recently, and she insisted somehow I got blamed for this. This is the point of the story. She insisted that I made Rob do that and that I was laughing at her. Somehow this got turned into I was laughing at her, and Rob just let it sit out there. He just let that sit in there. So the family looking at me like I created this scenario. Now, of course, I was hysterical. I was over the top, laughing at the whole thing. And then, I had to sit quietly for the rest of the time.
You were in timeout. You were in holiday timeout.
I was
Hanukkah
for
timeout.
sure. I was definitely an in-law at that moment, for sure.
You were an outlaw at that
I
moment. They're
wasn't
like, we're really
outlaw.
hoping this marriage doesn't work.
Yeah, I was definitely an outlaw. But to this day, like we always laugh about like the half of the acorn squash pressed up against
That's
his
pretty
face and my father-in-law looking in horror at me and Tim going, please don't. And I'm going, too late. And then Grandmono yelling.
Yeah, I never had assaults or violence or
Acorn squash on your face.
or acorn squash in your face. My big memory of the complexity of the holidays was the duality of my life. So as we know, if you didn't listen to our previous shows, all of us lost our parents early on in life. I lost my dad when I was 5. But we continued to celebrate Christmas with my mom and my sister. But my family was Jewish or Jewish, even though I was bar mitzvahed. And so we would also do Hanukkah. So I always, for many years, had Hanukkah and Christmas. And the complexity came from the fact that all my friends would ask me these questions, and I felt so defensive about it. And I don't even remember what I would make up, but I would make up all these stories about why we celebrate both so it didn't look bad, because I would get Hanukkah presents and I would get Christmas presents. We had a Christmas tree and we had a Hanukkah bush. My mom would stress out about whether or not there was an equitable balance of presents between Christmas and Hanukkah. None of us gave a crap about it because we were still getting presents. But then it got worse, because then my family, which at that point everybody was together in St. Augustine and the number was quite large. We literally had Hanukkah events, family events that would last hours as all the grandkids and kids and nieces and nephews opened their gifts. But then they would get in on it because they were like, well, should we give them also Christmas presents, or do we dock them less Hanukkah presents? I mean, seriously.
Do we dock them?
I mean, that was the conversation. That was
Docking your presents.
Yeah, that's some of the language that was used. It's like, well, should we dock them some presents? My cousin, I would remember, he would tell me, he's like, yeah, we docked you a few presents because we knew you already got some stuff for Christmas.
Wait a minute.
And I'm like, as a kid, you're like, I don't know, man. I don't care. I just want stuff. Okay, yes, we've had some stories. We could all tell ad nauseum of stories, but let's talk about this thing. And I'm real curious to know what your experiences have been, or what you think is the answer. All right. Why do you believe there is so much pressure around the holidays? You talked about the performance, the pictures, the stress. I have a sense of why I think it's been, and it's not unlike a lot of other things in life. But Phil, why are the holidays so stressful for people? And we'll wait to get to the unstressed, but why do you think they're so stressful?
I think 2 things. I think the holidays have become so much about like the retail of it all, like the giving of gifts and the purchasing of things, the presents. Let's just talk about the presents. And so I think there's that. And then I often say, whether it's the holidays or any other event where families are coming together, if there are rifts in families for whatever reasons, I think sometimes people come to these gatherings as if it is the gathering that's going to change the challenge in the family. And I would say it's the worst possible time to even think about that, because that's not what the coming together was intended for. And one coming together can't undo whatever hurt or years of undone issues have occurred in a family. And so there's an innate kind of built-in unrealistic and unreasonable, quite honestly, expectation that something is going to be different or get worked out. And the reality, I think, for most people is that it's just not going to. And so that Band-Aid comes ripping off that scab pretty quickly, and it is just raw, and it hurts, and it's out there, and it's everywhere. And I don't have much more to say about it. I think those 2 things for me combined, and from my own experience, everybody has their own experience, but from my experience, I think in part that's what adds to the stress.
Yeah, I definitely want to confirm the retail piece. There's apps now and my daughter uses it. And while it makes things easy, because I don't know what to get a 17-year-old, it also is such a weird dynamic. There's an app. She goes online, she picks the things that she wants for Christmas, sends me this list through the app, and then it finds the places to go buy such thing. And so it really is just about, here's my list and here's how you buy it. And, when I was a kid for Christmas, I didn't get gifts during the year. I didn't get stuff during the year. My birthday and Christmas were really the only times I got things. And now, I can just speak for myself. If my kids need a pair of pants, they get a pair of pants. They need shoes, whatever they need, likely they're going to get it throughout the year. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Not necessarily expensive things, just, everyday things. I mean, I used to get socks for Christmas. They're getting socks throughout the year. Right. And so
is that why you bought that beautiful blouse you're wearing? Shirt you're wearing?
Blouse, yeah. I love this blouse. And so now there's apps for commercial, and then I think for me, the other piece that you didn't say, Phyllis, is, but you kind of said it, was expectations. So we have social media now. We have the Hallmark movies. We have all of these things about, and you said at the start of the show, what is the perfect holidays, right? Families getting along, you meet a long lost friend, you know, all of these picture perfect things. And the reality is no part of life is like that. And so you expect it to be different. And then the third thing for me that I think is kind of frustrating is we've taken any of the religious pieces out of the holidays that they were actually meant to be. And it really is just coming down to commercialism. So, it's not family time necessarily for Thanksgiving, but it's having a show and bringing the best dishes for Christmas. It's not about the birth of Christ. For Hanukkah. It's not, what it's intended to be. So it's just very different, I believe. And I think that also causes some stress.
See, I think what you guys just highlighted is your SBD, Phyllis. You're silent but deadly. It's
yeah.
And I liken it to. So I'm listening to an audio book right now, The Psychology of Money. It's a brilliant book, by the way. If you ever wanted to understand the real story behind wealth, money, tragedy, and our mindset as human beings, it's an exceptional book to read, The Psychology of Money. It's been around for quite some time. Why do I bring that up? Well, in this book, the author talks about how so many people equate wealth to these big wins, when in actuality, it's the small, sustainable, consistent growth, $1 a day or a penny a week, whatever, that over time compounds and actually leads to, so we're swinging for the fences to try to win big on the stock market, or you're an entrepreneur and you happen to land big and then you think you're going to land big. And the truth is you're going to fail most of the time. And what accounts for most of the wealth in the world and the success are these huge wins. But the tortoise is getting ahead of the hare because over time they outperform, right? Like a stock, just consistent. I believe emotionally the holidays are very much that same way. What Phyllis was talking about, what you were talking about, Phil, was we have all these trapped problems, the chronic stress and anxiety, this burnout, these tension in relationships, these things that we bring to the holiday with the idea that it's gonna be perfect and I'm gonna feel better, and it's an unrealistic expectation that has no possible means of success. And deep down, subconsciously, the silent but deadly is we know that, but then we mask it. And actually, Psychology Today actually talked about that. It's like the psychological toll of holiday perfectionism. And one of those things is masking the deeper emotional struggles that people are going through and having. And so, I think that's the silent but deadly. When in actuality, if you just kind of think about the fun parts of the holidays, watching football, having a turkey leg, or having having a beer around the fire, it's the simple, small things. And I think most people want that simplicity, and they're tired of the complexity, but they don't know how to bridge that because somebody in there is saying it's got to be perfect. There's that aunt, that sister, that uncle, that cousin, whatever, that everything's got to be right, and nobody wants to stand up because society says, oh, you're just being a bah humbug. And so everybody just kind of stands back, lets it happen, versus going, let's just keep it real. Let's just go out. Let's go to Chinese food or something.
You know, Al, after Hurricane Katrina, we made a decision in Tim's family that we were not going to buy any gifts, that we were going to, if there was going to be any kind of gift exchange, we were going to recycle something in our house, something that meant to us, write a letter, make a donation if we wanted to in somebody's honor, but that there like no more stuff coming in. And we did that for years, and it was very meaningful and quiet. And I'm using that word like very carefully because it wasn't as much of the frenetic frenzy or the high, perhaps, that you get out of buying something. It was just quiet, and it was meaningful, and it was very lovely because when you gave the gift, you also got to tell the story, right? So I'm giving you a book that meant something to me, or I'm literally taking a picture, something hanging in our home that we think you would love and giving it to you because we think you would love it, but let us tell you why it meant something to me. And then there were the funny things, you know, like a toilet plunger or something like that. Okay, not a toilet plunger, but see, toilet plunger, get it?
Yeah.
Maybe some toilet paper, I don't know. You know, kind of funny things, but it was just a lovely thing to do. And I will say, I think like one of the best presents that I give Tim, and I do this on our anniversary, but we can use it as an example anyway, is just a list I keep all year long of the things that he does all year long that really touch my heart or mean something to me. And it literally can be that simple, but it is quiet. I mean, it is much more quiet than the freneticism of what typically goes on during the holidays.
I look at traditions as my anchor for the holidays. And to me, you know, I have a couple of external traditions and a couple of internal traditions. You know, internal traditions, by that I mean traditions for myself that I honor my own peace and quiet through some meditation, some writing, reflection, so on and so forth. And that over the years has also been shared with, my ex-wife, my people I've dated, friends. But then I have some external traditions, and for me, as a born extrovert, those traditions are really, really important. I have an annual Dirty Santa poker game that we've been doing for almost 30 years. And I still have some of the gifts from, 20 years ago, things like that. I have an end of the year, New Year golf tournament I've been doing, also now approaching its 31st year, I think. And so those are traditions. Then, of course, there's the traditional stuff, going out and seeing Christmas lights. I've even done that by myself, right? But the greatest thing around the holidays to me is if people can just stop for a minute and ask themselves, what would make this the most special holiday for you? And I think the majority of most people would have the same answer. Time for myself and time with people I care about. And I think if you just ask the average person what that looks like, and then gave them the opportunity to share those stories with one another, things get a lot easier. They get less complicated. So do you agree, disagree, Mark?
I first want to acknowledge the gift that you give Tim with writing that list. That's probably one of the most thoughtful, loving gifts one human could give another human, whether you're married, dating, friends, whatever. We've talked so much on this show about losing loved ones, and to be able to share while people are with us, what they mean to us, is worth more than any other gift you can find out there. So I just want to acknowledge that. And then, Al, to your point, I do. I think people crave connectivity, but that connectivity that they crave so much is, I think, is also the thing that is some of the most stressful around the holidays. There are so many people to see. There's so many expectations of how much time you're going to spend with somebody. A buddy of mine, Todd's flying in from Vegas to go be with his family for Thanksgiving. He's going to be here for 70 some odd hours. And I've got to try to fit in my crazy schedule with his crazy schedule so I can maybe see him for 10 minutes. And so I think that there's a lot of stress with that if maybe we didn't just push it all onto the holiday to do those things, it might create a little less stress in our world. But yeah, I completely agree. I don't think there's a gift out there that time together is worth more than.
What's the simplest holiday that you can remember? Phyllis, I think you might have touched on it, but I don't want to assume. When you think about the complexity of the holidays, what in your memory is like the simplest, least complex holiday experience you've ever had, whether it was, Christmas, New Year's, whatever, that really sticks in your mind as memorable?
I'm going to say this, and then I hope people are okay with it.
Okay. Well, once it's out there, it's out there.
So, yeah. So I think the simplest thing, and Tim and I used to do this, is that for Christmas, there were several years when we would do an early Christmas with his parents, like the week before. And then actually during that time, we would go away, usually to New Orleans because it's one of our favorite cities. And we would just spend the holidays either together, just the two of us, or sometimes we had really good friends who would meet us there. And it was lovely and simple and easy. And I'm not at all suggesting people should leave their families for Christmas, but for us and our work schedules, those 2 weeks were the weeks, or however, 9 days, those were the weeks that we had off. And we just made a decision that we needed to pay attention to ourselves and to our families, but in a different way. And those years were really amazingly easy, simple, fun years that left us recharged and just gave us a chance to reconnect. And I think, like, what I'm trying to convey to people is maybe we can all think a little different. Maybe the tip isn't, remember to drink water and not eat too much. Maybe the tip really is think about new ways that you can make less complex and less exhaustive holidays. Maybe there are new traditions, and that's not to say you have to do them every year, but maybe it's some of the years when things are really just moving a little too fast. You have something else in mind, and you can find peace in that.
Cascading off of that, the simplest for me is, I think, kind of an extension of what you're talking about, and that is one year, my ex-wife and I and our kids, we decided that we were not going to do presents. Instead, any of the money we were going to spend for gifts for ourselves and each other and the kids and all that, we were going to take that money and we were just going to buy gifts for families that didn't have gifts and that weren't going to have a Christmas. And at that time, way long ago, it was easier access. So we live in Jacksonville, Florida, and we went to Wilson Children's Hospital, and we just brought random gifts as well to kids that were in the hospital at Wilson Children's Hospital. And back then you could, it was pre-COVID and all that kind of stuff. Something happened that we never expected. And when she and I talked about it afterwards, and even the kids said it was easier, and they were young at that time. They were, preteen, just around teen. And what was easy was we didn't fret about what we bought because we bought things that we just knew people would appreciate. Somebody was going to appreciate that doll. Someone was going to appreciate that tic-tac-toe game. Someone was going to appreciate that brush because it's something that they didn't have, and it was something that was fun, and we didn't know if they were going to appreciate it or not, so the pressure was off. It was the giving of that gift, okay? And then the last thing we did was we said, hey, what is the coolest thing you guys could eat? And so all of us were off for a couple of days, so each one of us got to pick whatever you wanted to eat. And that was what made up our Christmas dinner. We had pizza, barbecue, steak, and I don't remember what the other one was. It was the most verblunged, which is a Yiddish word for effed up, for messed up, crazy buffet of food. That was our Christmas dinner. Everybody got to have a little something that they loved that was represented there. And I remember we talked about it years afterwards, and everybody was like, yeah, that was cool. That was easy. And you'd think about it, oh, that must be very complex. You had to do a lot of, you figure out where you're going to go to the hospital. You had to do this. You had to do that. No, dude, it was so easy because the pressure was off. We were doing it for the general love of giving to others versus pleasing others.
Big
And
distinction.
isn't that really what these holidays again are based in? It's like,
yes,
it's on giving.
Oh, that is a mic drop, Phil. You're right. I just realized in saying that how powerful that is. Sorry, I'm patting myself in the back. Let me ask you. Not
Al
you
just
guys.
gave himself a mic drop.
Can I do
I
that?
don't think you're allowed. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Well, I'm
gonna
doing
have to
it.
I'm checking our rule books.
I'm doing it.
I don't know if that's a thing.
I am mic dropping myself, and that
Man,
is
really
is when you're giving, when you're doing for others. Are you trying to please that person? Because I would advocate that the act of doing is enough, and that just doesn't happen around the holidays. That's every freaking day of the week. All right, so let's bring this kind of full circle here. What isn't magical for you about the holiday? This is where you get to kind of sprinkle some fart dust on the holidays. We've talked, yeah, Phil, you get your little fart dust. I don't want you to sprinkle your fart dust. I just want you to share your thoughts. But we're not being bah humbug here. We've already expressed that. But like, what is a part of the holidays that you're like, complicated or not, I could just do without that?
I don't know. I don't know what I could remove from the holidays at this point.
I'll just start it off.
Yeah, you
All
start.
right.
There are two things. And one of them is I could do without the incessant amount of ads that start running so far in advance. Like God bless
yeah.
God bless you. I don't need
I
to
see.
be seeing those ads pop up every single time, and I don't know the data behind it and what the conversion rate is, but anyway, that's one. The second, and this is going to probably be a little bit like, oh, you're a stinky poo, whatever, fart on you, you're a Jew. See, I made a little Dr. Seuss there. I had to. I hadn't done a rhyme yet, okay? But no.
That's the rhyme?
Well, when I say it, it'll make
I get it.
sense.
Okay.
And that is small doses with the holiday music.
I was, you know what? When you were, yes.
Well, I'm not saying get rid of it. Like, everybody's got
No.
their Harry Connick and their Jingle Bell and their Burl Ives and all that. That's fine. Give me some U2 singing whatever, Roger Daltrey's version or whatever. I don't know. Not Roger. But God, man, we don't need it for that long.
I know Mariah Carey listens to this show, but I cannot listen to her songs at the Christmas. I'm sorry, Mariah. I apologize, but I can't do it.
So
I can't do
here's
it.
everything I could do without. Al, thanks for kind of getting that framed up in my head for a minute. I could do without
welcome.
all of everything you said. I know the dog is barking. Tim is not here.
That's
There's
fine.
nothing I can do. It's everybody get used to it.
It's part of the show.
It is. I could do without all of that. I also could do without I don't want to talk about anything nutrition wise. I do not want to discuss it. It's the holidays. People are going to do what they're going to do. I don't need to see weight loss ads like starting now. I don't need to hear experts coming on saying, don't eat too many cubes of cheese. I don't need to literally have experts coming on news and talking about anything, quite honestly. Like, is this really what it's become? It's become like, how do you, like, do we really need to hear about that during the holidays? Even how to wrap a present, anything. It's like, it's been done.
Well, what about this? How about for the holidays, we don't start celebrating the holidays in September? Okay? I mean, decorations go up for Halloween and Christmas almost at the same time. And I can't even celebrate one holiday. I've got 15 to choose from. I'm buying Christmas lights, before Halloween's even started. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I could do without that.
You know what else I could do without?
What, Phyllis?
I do sound bitter. Oh, wait, there's more. I don't want, like, how many more times do we have to talk about, I know I sound horrible when I say this, budgeting. It just makes everybody nervous, quite honestly. And yes, you can ignore it. You can just move away. But really, really, that's what we're going to talk about?
I've got a funny story around that. So when I was a kid, my grandmother, same grandmother that hit my cousin, she used to own a, I guess you would call it a lingerie store. She sold bras and things like that. So she used to give us our gifts in bra boxes.
Hold on.
Which was always really funny and and not funny when you're a little kid and you don't really understand. But anyway, so she used to give us gifts in bra boxes, and then you'd open up the gift, and then she would proceed to tell you how much she spent on said gift.
Yes.
Right? Like, I could do without that. It's like, oh, you like that? That was $29. Oh, you like that? That was $15. Oh, I'm glad that you really like. That's $100. I mean, really? I don't need to know.
I think part of that too, though, is generational too. I mean, I remember some of my grandmother and some older relatives would do something similar because I don't know. I don't know your grandmother, but I don't want to get punched by her, and maybe she would punch me if I was saying this. But I think part of it's just generational too. It was like because that was a way to equate, or maybe even cultural. That's a way to equate the value of it. I don't know. The other thing I could do without is New Year's resolutions.
Oh, me too.
Amen.
Now I want to be very clear to those of you. I am a manifester. I am a meditator. I totally believe in manifesting, right? And I would not have said this probably a few years ago, but life's trauma and life's joys and ups and downs have taught me just what a farce and a total shitstorm New Year's resolutions are. This idea that this day starts that fresh start. It's sort of like asking somebody right after they got married, like a week later, how does it feel to be married? Well, it should feel pretty much the same way it felt like 2 to 6 months before you got married. I'm really happy. I'm really glad to be with this person. It's like the things that you need to do on January 1, you probably needed to be doing on December 1st. But hey, if that's a start date, great. I also know that there's a dopamine hit that comes from, all right, I'm going to do this then. But we already know that majority of those resolutions go away. And here's the proof. Gym memberships drop off something like 80%, 70% within the first 2 or 3 months. App sales, majority of physical fitness mobile apps are sold in the first 45 to 60 days of the year. And something like less than half to 3/4 of them ever get renewed. And so, I don't know, man, let's just kind of stretch that out as a normal way of going, hey, the things we want on January 1st are things we should apply in our lives regularly. And I think it gets a little simpler. Like, what should I be doing on January 1st, 2026? Let me start doing that today. Anyway, that's my rant.
You go.
I like that. That's a good rant.
It is time for us to make a very tough call, and that is to alleviate our listeners the pain of any more of this side of gas. Instead, let's close with gratitude, right? Like, we've talked about what we don't want. We've talked about why the stresses in the holidays. the most simple expression in everyday life of that leads to joy and happiness is gratitude. And so what I would love for us to close with, and I'll start, and Mark, you can close, or Phil, whatever. I'm gonna throw out the idea. We didn't talk about this, but I'd like to throw out the idea of an internal gratitude and an external gratitude. And we're going to keep it really, really simple. Internal gratitude is gratitude for yourself, an expression of the gratitude within yourself. And then the second is externally, gratitude for external things. And so my internal gratitude for this year is the gratitude of self-reflection and inner peace amid great storms, whether that is my own brain wiring, God, all the above, definitely the faith and friendship of you two and so many of my friends. I just carry a never-ending supply of gratitude internally. The external gratitude is this show in part, as it relates to this show. This has been therapy for us, therapy for me. This has been a life lesson. This has been a professional lesson. But most importantly, the two of you, this journey has been the most transparent, truthful, and beautiful, raw expression of life that I could imagine. Because what we've gone through in questioning ourselves, trying to figure out our schedules, our own personal dilemmas and challenges that have occurred, every single step of the way since we committed to this, the three of us have been by each other's side like frickin', battles and commanders commanders in the middle of a battle. Just, hey, I'll take the helm. No, I'll take the helm. All right, I got the helm. I got you. I'm not going to let you fall. And so that external gratitude also extends to my friends and family who have been with me on this tough year. But to see where this show is, to know where we began, and to have you two by my side, knowing what's coming, that's my gratitude.
Mark, how are we supposed to go after that?
I was just going to say, I was hoping you were going to go next. I don't know that I can follow it.
And then there was silence.
All right. Well, then I guess I will go next. What I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for, and it goes back to these stories. I'm grateful for all the crazy stories and memories that I have of the holidays. I'm grateful for the opportunity to create new traditions, like you were saying, with friends, family, and I'm grateful to be here. That we're so lucky that we were even born. And so just to even be here with you guys and to celebrate holidays and to celebrate the truths that come out in this show, I'm eternally grateful for all of that. I think for me, the thing that I'm going into this new year and through the holidays grateful for is remembering that there's so many wonderful people around me. And I'm really so thankful every day to call you both family, to have so close relationships with you both, and with folks outside the show, and I'm just like you, Al. I'm just eternally grateful for other people. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Why would I ever let you go before me?
I just regurgitated.
Phil, I want you to know that the anchor is not totally on your lap, because there is actually a curveball I'm going to throw at the very end. So
okay, good.
You could be saved, but hey, lay it on us though. Lay it on us.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Farcical
I really
one.
had been, yes. I really had been thinking about this the other day, and I think very similarly to what the two of you have said. I am grateful to wake up every day and just get to be me. That's just the truth. And that's been a long time coming. I didn't always feel that way. And I think this show, working with the two of you, life's journey, my willingness to explore and do internal work has made that incredibly possible. I'm just glad to be alive and healthy. I'm very, very grateful to wake up every day healthy. I'm incredibly grateful for my family and my friends that are my family. And they are all over the country at this particular point. And some people say, you lost your mom, your family's really small. I am just very, very blessed, quite honestly, to have some amazing family members by blood and by birth, and have amazing family members who are friends turned family. I am extremely grateful to have learned a really hard lesson this year about control and about facing adversity, and how that ultimate decision is mine, how I'm going to let that impact me on a daily basis. And so I have found great peace in knowing that two things can be happening at the same time, but I actually do get to choose how I wake up and face every day. How things can get compartmentalized. It doesn't mean, there are not moments of extreme, or haven't been moments of extreme fear or anger. But at the end of the day, that's been a really beautiful lesson for me, to know that some bad things have happened or are going to happen, and some beautiful things continue to happen if only I will open my eyes and be on the lookout and accept them as they are coming. I'm sure there's a million more things I can say, but I'm going to finish here. Obviously, I'm grateful for the two of you who have walked me to a place where I would actually sit here and have this conversation and do this podcast. And I know that hasn't always been easy for you, or for me.
More for you.
I think it's been tougher for you. It's been pretty easy for us.
It's not been hard for us.
Probably so. But one of the things I'm really, really grateful for, and it's happened to me because I've been doing a little traveling for work and out and about, is when people come up and say, "Hey, I'm listening to the podcast and I really like it." Or somebody will call and say, "Hey, I just listened and this is what I learned." And that is such a lovely gift. Unexpected, completely unexpected, but so very, so very meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Love all that. All right. So
curveball.
Breaking with tradition, we're going to actually close the show, and Phyllis and Mark have no clue that I am tossing them this curveball, because it is time for our year-end holiday roll-up. That's right.
What?
Yeah, man. We are stepping into the stall to go deep into the most meaningful things that far beyond and exceed gratitude. We're going to go ahead and crank up, I think as you called it, Phil, we're going to close with some gratitude and a side of gas. And so here we go. Here we go. So Phyllis, Mark,
Al,
you have either yourself created or others have created that bad holiday smell that can only come from inside your body through the passage of some fart gas. And you need to make sure it's eradicated in the toy. That would be the toilet. What is your flavorful spray of choice?
Oh, hands down. If you light a match and drop it into the toilet, then the smell goes away.
Okay, so you were going to choose, of all the different aromas out there, you're going to choose a
because
match.
Otherwise, it's flowery poo. So if you light a match and then blow it out really quickly and drop it in the toilet, that's why I have matches in the bathroom.
Okay.
I just, then someone's going to know, like, your ass is on fire or something.
Yeah. They're going to be so glad you had the matches.
I was wondering actually why you had matches in the bathroom when I was at your
everybody,
house. Everybody
didn't
knows.
Know that. Every woman knows for sure.
Well, now I didn't know that.
Otherwise, what are you going to have? Lemon poop?
I actually
don't knock that.
Hey, I bought this spray, and it's kind of like a perfumey cologne smell. And
cologne, is that like bologna?
It's kind of like bologna. So I a little dab of do you do a little and
please do not say a little dab will do you when we're talking about the potty humor, please.
A little dab,
I mean, I know you're trying to conserve on toilet paper, but more than a little dabble, do you?
Well,
all right.
Not too much spray, because then you've got that weird, like, I just came out of the bathroom cologne on.
There is the poo-pourri that if you put the drops in the toilet. Yeah, okay.
That one's cool.
So I'm going to hashtag these guys because they are my favorite brand. Now,
their commercials are amazing.
Poo-pourri is great. It is a great, but Phyllis, I like the lemon, okay? Lemon is a great smell in the bathroom because I don't want to put there's this oak cinnamon. Now they're coming out with all these different scents and I don't know, man. It's like lemon could be cleaner. I mean, everybody knows why if the spray's there, you know what it's there for, right? There's no more hidden gems. Okay.
Just light the match, blow it out, drop it in the toilet.
So we got a match. We got whatever Mark's nondescript flavor.
I'd probably have that cinnamon.
Yeah.
Nutmeg.
Whatever. Nutmeg. It smells like a
cinnamon,
really bad apple pie.
Yeah, that's exactly it, for sure.
Yeah.
Next question. Does it disturb you, yay or nay, to have toilet paper that has holiday pictures of reindeer or Santa or Mrs. Santa on it?
Ew. I'm bothered just talking about that. Absolutely.
I'm bothered thinking about it.
It's true, though. Do you see it? It's like toilet. No, if you Google holiday toilet paper, and there's toilet paper that you can actually imprint pictures on. Why would you want a picture of your family on your toilet paper as you're wiping your ass?
So let's wind the reel backwards. And so if you have family members coming and you're maybe not in such a good space, then you have their picture put on the toilet paper. And then when they go to the bathroom, you put it in the guest bathroom.
That is like a threat matrix there. You can say, hey, listen, if you're not good to me this year, you're not getting a coal. You're not getting coal in your stocking. You're getting your picture on my toilet paper.
I'd let it be a surprise.
Wow.
I would just let it be a surprise.
Mark feels like he's been living in the dark right now. Phil,
I had no idea these tools existed. I can't wait.
All right.
Someone's getting that this year.
Okay. Last question here. Unless you guys have one.
No.
These
this
are
is
great.
your party.
Okay. All right. If you were stuck in the potty over the holidays, like the door jamb locked and you were like, oh my God, I'm stuck. And there was one Christmas song playing in the bathroom, knowing we've already said we're going to banish these. What would be the one Christmas song that you could handle stuck in the stall with?
None of them. I couldn't just nonstop, on repeat?
it's on. Yeah.
I'm sitting here contemplating if I could handle dreidel, dreidel, dreidel over and over and over again.
Oh, God, please, no.
No, there's not one song. I couldn't do it. I have a tough time. Some of our radio stations here will play Christmas music starting in Thanksgiving. I have to wait till 3 days before Christmas before I start listening to that stuff on repeat. Just can't do it.
All right. Mine is, and I was trying to Google it because I can't remember it.
The Snoopy Peanut song.
What's the big orchestra one?
Mannheim
Steamroller.
Yeah.
Mannheim Steamroller. Ironically, I think Steamroller is funny. Phyllis, you're not even responding.
No.
Are you distracted?
I'm looking up a song that I want to tell you. But
I am sitting here so excited about Mannheim Steamroller, and
you said steamroller.
We gotta tag them,
isn't it?
All right. So, any other inputs before we output this show?
Happy holidays, y'all.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year. Whatever it is, download it, enjoy it, appreciate it. But for crying out loud, don't overthink it. This is the complexity of toilet paper.
Did you say toilet paper?
I'm overthinking.